You know, it's that moment that just sends a chill right through you. You're talking with your mom or your dad, and they forget something big. Not just where they put their keys, but an entire conversation you just had, or the name of a lifelong friend. And in that quiet moment, the first thought that pops into your head is this just, old age, or is this something else? It's a scary question for sure, but getting some clarity, that's the first and most important step you can take.
Okay, so let's get right into this, because this is the question that really matters. We all have those moments, right? Where are my keys? What did I come in this room for? That's just part of being human. But there's a really clear line between a simple senior moment and the kind of memory problem that should get your attention. The real question isn't if someone is forgetting things, it's what they're forgetting and whether it's starting to mess with their daily life.
And this here really breaks down that difference. Forgetting someone's name, but then it pops into your head an hour later, totally normal. But forgetting that you even had a conversation with that person in the first place, that's different. The key distinction, and this comes from the experts at the National Institute on Aging, is when these changes start to get in the way of just functioning day to day. So it's not about losing the car keys. It's about forgetting what the keys are for or how to even operate the car.
So, let's be absolutely clear about this because it's so important. Alzheimer's is not just a part of getting old. It is not a personality flaw. It is a specific physical disease. It's a progressive illness where the cells in the brain are physically breaking down and dying. And thinking about it this way is crucial because it takes it out of the shadows of stigma and puts it where it belongs, in the world of medicine. It's a condition that needs to be diagnosed and managed, not something to be ignored.
And this drawing shows you exactly what we mean by physical disease. The brain of someone with Alzheimer's literally shrinks. There's a medical term for it, atrophy. And this shrinking doesn't just happen all over at once. It tends to start in the parts of the brain that are essential for making new memories, especially a little area called the hippocampus. And as these parts shrink, their ability to do their job just plummets.
So what's actually causing this damage? Well, if we could zoom in with a super powerful microscope, we'd see two main culprits. First, you've got these things called amyloid plaques. Just think of them as sticky little clumps of gunk that build up between the brain cells. They're like roadblocks on the communication highways of the brain. Then you've got Tau Tangles. These happen inside the brain cells. The cell's internal support structure gets all twisted up, which causes the cell to just collapse and die from within. It's a devastating 1-2 punch.
Okay, so how does this damage lead to the symptoms that we actually see? Let's use an analogy. Think of the hippocampus, that memory-making part of the brain we mentioned, as a tape recorder. Its whole job is to record new information, what you had for breakfast, that phone call from your cousin, the show you just watched. In early Alzheimer's, that tape recorder is broken. The tape is tangled. It simply cannot record anything new. And that is why a person might ask you the same question over and over again. It's not that they didn't hear you, it's that the answer never got recorded.
But here's the part that can be so confusing and, honestly, so heartbreaking. How can that same person not remember what they ate an hour ago but tell you a perfect, vivid story from their wedding 50 years ago? Well, that's because those memories aren't on the tape recorder. Those old, long-term memories are stored like books on a shelf in a different part of the brain. And in the early stages of the disease, that library is still pretty much intact. The old books are there. The distant past can feel so much more real than the present.
So, we've walked through what Alzheimer's is and how it attacks the brain. But I need you to listen really closely to this next part because it's probably the most critical piece of information we're going to talk about. Just because you see these warning signs doesn't automatically mean it's Alzheimer's disease. And right here, this is where we find some real hope.
A full medical workup is absolutely essential because a whole bunch of other conditions can look almost exactly like early dementia. Things like a bad vitamin B12 deficiency, thyroid issues, even some medication side effects or depression can cause major memory and thinking problems. And here's the best part, many of these look-alike conditions are treatable. Sometimes the symptoms can even be completely reversed, but you just can't know what's really going on without a proper diagnosis from a doctor.
So this is what it all boils down to. If you are seeing memory loss in someone you love, and it's starting to interfere with their ability to live their life, that is not a normal part of aging. It's a signal that something is wrong and needs to be looked at. It might be Alzheimer's, but it could also be a vitamin deficiency or something else that's treatable. The only wrong move here is to guess. The only mistake is to do nothing. Getting it checked out gives you answers. It rules out other causes, and it's the first step to getting the right kind of help. Don't wait. Getting that clarity is the most powerful thing you can do.